it was interesting. I belong to an organization called 1 Million Cups. Now, 1 Million Cups is put on by the Kauffman Foundation for Entrepreneurs. And every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock in 182 different cities, people meet, entrepreneurs meet, and they put on a presentation about their business. Usually it's mostly startups, any company that's younger than 5 years. And I've done presentations in different locations around here. And it was interesting what you said, Todd. People were saying, you really find out about yourself through this whole pandemic. You can really see who you are because people show up different ways under pressure. And, some people hide, some people throw their arms up and give up. Some people say, hey, I don't know what to do. What's nice about it is we had a panel on this morning and there was 4 people, how they pivoted and adapted to their business with the pandemic, how they switched things up really quickly, how they made things better, invented new stuff and all that. And the bottom line is the businesses that closed down and went out of business, number one, they're not adaptable, they're not pivoting, they're not ready and willing to change. The other thing is they never had a plan B. Most of them ran out of cash very quickly. And many years ago, I learned that what I have to do is always have a plan B. Like I'm doing certain things right now in my business, in my personal life, in things that we're doing, and I always have a plan B. My wife, we've been together over 6 years, and she always says, so what's the plan B for this situation? I always have another plan. We're going to be selling our place and moving to another place. And if we sell it faster than our new house is ready, what's the plan B? Well, we got several people we can go visit and hang out with them and stay at their house and they can feed us.
They won't have any problem feeding you because you don't eat anything.
Yeah, that's right. I know. We've been really scaling down. So I thought, my kids can pay it forward. How I carried them for all those years, and so now we're gonna be like, okay, your turn to carry me for a few months, maybe. So we're gonna be making the rounds. So the good thing is we got a couple of other houses, that we can go to. So it's not that bad. Excuse me. But it was interesting because my opinion is that if you cannot adapt, you must die. Your business must go out of business because, it's kind of like I read about stories, the CNR, which is the Canadian National Railways, and CPR, which is the Canadian Pacific Railways, they were in the railway business, not in the transportation business. So they didn't adapt when everything changed, okay? Some companies adapted very quickly. Look at, the video stores, okay? I read somewhere that some of the Blockbuster, Netflix was going to buy Blockbuster, and Blockbuster said, no, we don't need you. Nobody's going to go online and do all this kind of stuff. And guess what? Their history. Many years ago, I invented or created, not invented, but created my online training system. And at the time, my boss said to me, oh, nobody's going to go online and watch videos. And no. And I spent $500,000 developing my training system. And he almost fired me when I brought it up. But then when I opened it up to all the agents, and they were across the country, they said, this is a great idea. I don't have to travel. Good idea. And then he gave me a trophy for being an innovative thinker. So the thing is, the reason I tell you that is because people, if they don't adapt their business, look at what's happening with, restaurants, and companies are doing more deliveries and pickups, and it just really shifted, So this is the time to reinvent ourselves. And, Brandon asked me today to talk to you guys and do a training. I'm not going to do a training. What I want to have is I want to have a discussion. I want to have an interaction. I want to have, find out what you guys are doing and what's working, what's not working, and see what we need to do and how we can help each other to grow and get better and move forward, all together. And so that's what today's session is going to be about. And so I want you guys to, I'm going to be giving you some questions, and then I need some interaction because I'm not that smart. I don't have all the answers and nobody does. So I'm going to need some feedback and we can help each other out. So the first question is going to be, during this time of shift, there's this time of change, what worked for you specifically in your business, in your life, whether, we always talk about the 4 quadrants, we talk about the physical, the spiritual, the relational, and the financial. So what worked in all of those areas, any of those areas, none of those areas, whatever it is. So the floor is open and I need you guys' input. So whoever wants to go first, please, let's have a discussion about what worked during this time, since this March 15th when this whole pandemic took off. So who wants to go first?
Well, I'm kind of shy, so I'll go first.
Good idea.
One of the things that my wife and I did is as for the physical quadrant is we actually started walking. We have a lot of open territory behind us, so we kind of go walking and this and that. And I got a cool little app on the phone that would track the steps. So today we finished and walked 3.6 some odd miles, took over an hour and a half. But I'm outside getting some fresh air, getting some vitamin D from the sun, and somewhere along the way released 8 pounds. So that was awesome. So that's one thing that we did implement. How about that during this time?
Excellent. And just to make a comment on that, a lot of people, what they did is they shut down and they cooped up inside. And I said at the beginning of this pandemic, one of 3 things is going to happen to you at the end of this pandemic when we get to go out again. You're either going to be a hunk, a chunk, or a drunk. Okay, or a chunky drunk.
That's funny.
So, because same thing, for me and my wife, we lost about 15 pounds. We started about 30 days ago, went back to a program and we trimmed up. I'm able to get back into my skinny pants. I don't have to pull out my fat pants. And I feel better. I have more energy. She has more energy. She said to me yesterday, she has these pair of shorts that are the gauge whether you're losing weight or not. She says she put her phone in her pocket and her pants fell down.
That's funny.
Yeah. So anyways, Brandy, you look like you want to say something.
Sure. I was definitely one of the people that shut down in the beginning. I struggled with it and I sat around the house and, I thought it was going to end quickly. So we did some movie marathons and just kind of hung around. And when it didn't end quickly, obviously I realized I needed to do something different. And that's when I joined the coaching program. And so going through the different seasons, with the exercise and stuff, I think that's the one that worked the best for me too, because I found ways to get active at home. And I've also been really wanting to get back into yoga again for a long time, but I don't like going with other people because I'm very self-conscious and I don't want people looking at me while I'm doing it. So I've found that I am much more consistent doing it at home because nobody's here to see me. I get up in the mornings before everybody's awake, so not even my family sees me. I found a YouTube channel that I love, follow the same person every day, so it's always the same, kind of routine type thing, and that's really working well for me. It's definitely making an impact.
Ask your question. You can tell me or don't tell me. Why is it that you're so self-conscious about other people watching you?
I don't know. I always have been. I'm not super athletic. I'm not super flexible. I'm not, I definitely don't do the poses properly all the time. And I just don't like people to see me. I don't know why.
The reason I ask you that is because I do a lot of prospecting and I've been doing something called the boot camp. And one of the things that we do in the boot camp is there's a lot of agents that come in that don't like prospecting. They're very shy. They very timid about stuff, and they don't like other people listening to them. So I take those people and put them in front of a room and make them prospect in front of everybody. And what happens is they get a breakthrough. They get a breakthrough because they realize it's okay, because I say, let your peers criticize you, let them look at you. I'd rather you messed up in front of your peers instead of the customer. And what happens is, all of a sudden, they break out of their shell. Now, talking about your exercise thing, I found, when my wife and I started going to the gym again, because we didn't go for a while, we were a little bit self-conscious because, you go to the gym and you got all these guys lifting. As a matter of fact, I tore my rotator cuff because I tried to show up. I had these young guys doing dips and everything. And I thought, well, I was a gymnast. I can do this thing. Well, I tore my muscle. I had to have an operation on my shoulder because I thought I can keep up with this. So there was a little intimidation. But now I think what I do is I just go and I say whatever, and I actually get a little bit more motivated. So again, it's just it's a mental thing. So thank you for sharing that. Shannon, you look like you want to say something too.
I do?
Yes. Yeah, you had the big question mark on your forehead. I could see it.
You must have ESP.
Yes.
You know what, for me, so in addition to be a realtor, I'm also a psychologist of 25 years, and I also did research for the CDC for 5 years. So when the pandemic hit, I was really clear what was going on and what was going to happen and how long it was going to last. And I had to really shift gears with my therapy clients and put them on Zoom calls and be really available to them. So I feel like I made the shift really immediately because it was necessary for others, and I'm really good at showing up for others. And then for myself, it took a few weeks before I realized, oh, wait a minute, you need to do things different for yourself as well. And then that's when I started taking a bunch of classes. I did the California real estate school while we were in quarantine, so that I can get licensed there as well. And I tried to just make it fun, and I feel like I did. I've had fun.
Great. And that's the thing. I did some courses. I did some C's. I did another course. I got another designation. Not that I really needed it or wanted it, but I just thought it's interesting. And one of the things you said, you're real good at taking care of other people, but sometimes you forget yourself. And
Totally.
one of the things I tell people over the years is that, number one, and I know it sounds selfish at first, but when you really think about it logically, it's not selfish. The first person I have to love and take care of is myself. And the reason is because if I don't take care of myself, I can't help anybody else. And I always equate it to the airplane. When you fly on an airplane, they say to you, put your mask on first if they fall out of the ceiling there, and then help somebody else. A lot of times I see people that go to church or donate money and time and energy, and they forget about their own family and their own themselves, and they're trying to help all these other people, but you can't help somebody to, this morning I was listening to John Maxwell. I don't know if any of you listen to it. He's got the Maxwell Minute in the morning. I get it every single morning, and we do a family listening thing here. And he talked about taking care of yourself because you can't give what you don't have. You know what I mean? So it's really crucial. And I'm glad you said that, Shannon, because, you have all this education. You're a psychologist. I don't even know how to spell psychologist. Okay. So some kind of physiological, something like that. And,
Yeah,
and so, but it's good because now you got to take care of you. And what Brandy was talking about, you know what? Sometimes people don't go to the gym because they say, I got nobody to go with, nobody's there. Well, you're going to wait for somebody else. I was doing a training one time. I was doing a boot camp, and one of the agents, didn't seem too motivated. And I said, hey, what's going on with you? And they said, well, I'm waiting for somebody to motivate me. I said, what if they never show up? you're screwed. Okay. I keep saying that nobody ever shows up to, it's like exercising. I don't wait for anybody to go to a gym with me. I just go. It becomes part of you. So that's the kind of stuff that's really crucial, that we do it that way. So you've been very quiet there, Tim Lowe. You got your headset on and you've been smiling away. So go ahead, say something.
What's new and exciting, everybody? I've got my boy in the background. I was going to have my other computer on, but he's got this game that he's doing right now, and we're learning hand in hand together how to record. So I've got the Zoom on, and then we've got the OBS Studio that we record it with. And so he's got his own YouTube channel that he's got going on. But we're learning this stuff in tandem together because I'm doing interviews for real estate. And so
Actually,
it's learning.
He's teaching you. Yeah, usually the kids teach us.
That's the way it goes a lot of times. That's very true.
When we got a problem with our computer, we just call our 17-year-old, say, can you fix this?
Oh, he's 11 years old and he knows more about streaming video than I do, but I'm able to bring in certain programs like OBS Studio and the Zoom platform he already knew, but then it's just a matter of getting it out there and tweaking it. And we're using like Premium Rush and Premium Pro Premiere Pro to edit the videos before we send them out too.
Awesome.
So but that's all stuff that we all need right now.
Yeah.
Especially with the social distancing.
Can I ask you a favor?
Absolutely.
Send me a video, whatever you guys shoot. I'd love to see what you guys are doing and how you guys are doing it. It would be always interesting, what everybody else is doing. I'm always looking at other people's stuff. I shoot a lot of video. I do a ton of video.
Well, then you'll really like the last one that I did. It's a 3D virtual open house video.
Awesome. Yeah. I would love to see that. So great. Well, thank you. So now we have one person left. Is it Curion? I know you were having trouble there with your audio, so I don't know if you got your audio working. Did I get that correctly, or am I not even close? I know you're staring at me. I don't know if you got audio there. I'm trying to figure out. It's Quron is the login. I don't know whether that's just a screen name or is your name or what it is. I don't know if I met you before. So would you like to pipe in and see what has worked during this pandemic for you? Maybe he doesn't have audio. Okay. All right. So that was question number one, is what has worked for you during this pandemic? And here is question number two. You probably can guess this one. What did not work? What is it that you had challenges with? What you had difficulty with? What was it that you said to yourself, man, I can't believe this is happening to me? So what was that? So whoever wants to start. It's okay. You can tell me where you messed up. Okay, Brandy, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll go. I honestly, I've talked about this multiple times on different calls. It's a lot of it is related to my family and my kids, just being stuck at home all the time and not. I can relate to Shannon. I don't take care of myself. I take care of everybody else first. I think that's a kind of a mom thing that we do, and I was doing that. I was taking care of everybody else, and I was not focusing on what I needed. And I think for me, again, starting the coaching in the middle of this whole thing kind of gave me that little push and made me realize I've got to do something for me. And I'm still struggling with the balance and, not letting the family interrupt me when I'm in my work time and setting the boundaries, but I'm getting there. It's a work in progress.
Okay, great. Yes. Okay, thank you for that. Anybody else? Shannon, you got that look on your face again. I see your wheels turning there, a little smoke coming out of your ear.
Work on my face. Something is wrong with my face. I don't know.
No, there's nothing wrong with your face, but you're pondering, and then it looks like you want to say stuff. So go ahead.
Sure. You know, for me, what wasn't working it was social media. I had to really limit how much social media I was having because people were speculating or freaking out or being negative or whatever. And I absorbed too much of that. So it's just best for me to not participate. And so that was kind of not working. It was doing, that's normally something I enjoy. And I had to kind of put it aside for a while.
It makes sense because here's the thing. I don't watch the news, okay? I never watch the news. My wife turns it on sometimes, and we get into a little debate about just shut it off because it's all negative garbage anyways. But what
I know, as a psychologist, I say don't watch news.
Yeah, but the problem is that we're so attached to social media that we're getting the same garbage on social media. I people feed stuff to me. I see, with all of this riots and all that kind of stuff, I get the news from Tampa, from Orlando, from all over the place. It just goes into my feed, and people are making comments about, they're supporting this and they're supporting that. And then there's a conflict and, oh my gosh, it's like, get a life, just get on with it. Let's get along and let's get on with business. Let's get on with life and let's stop, tearing each other apart. So anyways, you're right. Social media really can grab you. So go ahead. Hey, Wayne, how you doing? I finally showed up. You're right on time.
Thanks, Alex. Sorry, I just had a client on the phone, and you know what it's like. So
yeah. So what we're talking about is what worked during the pandemic and what didn't work. So you missed the first part. So I would like to get some feedback from you of what didn't work for you.
I at the beginning of the pandemic, I spoke to a lot of clients. Everybody wanted to just wait and see. Again, no one had any answers on really what was going to happen. So the vibe I got early on was, you can spend a lot of time following up with a lot of customers. I took the option of leaving a lot of people alone with the attitude when I actually had something concrete that I could share with them. So probably a month, and then at that stage I decided I needed to keep myself focused. So I did a home improvement project. So that really helped me, because that's part of my meditation, is actually doing something that allowed me to think about a lot of things while I was working. So that period was very, very healthy for me to clear my mind, get a really clear focus on what I wanted to do. So it was a really good time for me. And then I've got, and the good thing is it allows a lot of people to drop off that really aren't serious. And now I've got 8 very good clients and 1 extremely good client that I'm now working with. So there's a silver lining to this whole virus. Yep. And I've definitely found it. So, which is wonderful. So
great.
And I feel stronger. The market's really hot at the moment. It's crazy. So.
Yeah, I thank you, Wayne. I firmly believe, and I heard this 1975. I met a man named Jim Rohn, who was a great speaker, motivator. He actually coached us. I have his tapes. I have it right here, sitting on my desk here on an old cassette recorder. I have the tape in there. And so what he said was that every adversity has in it a seed of equal or greater benefit. All you have to do is look for it, and it's there. These riots are waking America and the world up to inequality. And it's like, hey, hello, it's been going on for thousands of years, but can we really get and fix some of this stuff? The pandemic is making us aware of our health and our physicality and our business and what's going on. So I always look at every adversity in my life, and I have lots of them, I'm sure we all have, as a stepping stone to the next thing, okay? To find out something new. I discover new things about myself, my family, and everybody around me. And people really show up when there's problems or a pressure. So it's very interesting. Who else wants to go? Tim or Jeff, you want to talk about what didn't work for you in any area that you may want to highlight for us, please? Don't fight over it, guys.
Yeah. Well, I realized that it was the opportune time to take care of a lot of the technology that we have available to us since we're not able to be together anyway. So I haven't earned what I usually earn because I've been learning a lot more than I remember Todd had said at one point, listen, whenever you're learning something or you're teaching something or, you know, anything when it comes to that, your earning's going to take a back seat for a while. And it took a while to accept that. But I put a lot of time into trying to learn a lot of different programs so that way I could have a better online presence. And, you know, I think it's important, but that's what it made me realize when all this kicked in is it's a good time to start using it that way.
Excellent. Yeah, just upgrade yourself a little bit, and you're correct. One of the things I was told many years ago, and I don't know who said it, you know, so one of those great speakers I was at, they said that when you teach something, you learn it yourself. And I've been doing the DISC training program for over 36 years. I've been certified in it, and I teach it all the time. I just did a Zoom call for 250 realtors, and I learn every single day, even though I even wrote a book about it, but I still learn. Every time I do a training, I learn more. So it makes me better. And you're correct, Tim, you know, that's just a total upgrade. Who else wants to go? Maybe Jeff or Todd?
Actually, can I just say one thing? There's one thing I caught up on was the CE classes. I got 21 credits because of the great opportunity to do the Zoom meetings. I didn't have to go and sit in the classroom, so that was wonderful. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No problem. Thank you. Todd?
So Alex, the whole COVID timeout or time off or away from my normal day-to-day activities has actually been really positive for me. I can't really think of anything that was a negative. I got to spend some great time with my kids who were also quarantined at home. They couldn't go to school. They couldn't go. I mean, one of them lost their job, so they couldn't go to work. One of my daughters is an EMT, and so she would, of course, go to work. And we spent some time concerned about her possibly catching this whole thing. And but it's been really good to spend when you get kids that are. My two daughters are 21 and 24, and they both will still live at home. And just so that you know, they can live at home as long as they want. I'm totally fine with that. Not trying to get them out of the house or anything. They don't spend as much time with their dad as they normally do. So it was really good to get to spend quality time with them because, hey, we didn't really have much else to do, right? One thing that we did do on a team perspective is we still met every week via Zoom. We still talked about what was going on in their business and what wasn't. Quite honestly, I would say half of the agents on my team really took some time off. We go at it really hard. Like, we are in the office every day. We're lead genning every day. We're on the phone every day. We don't, most of the agents on my team are working 6 or even 7 days a week by choice. I ask them not to do that, but they took some time off. And the positive to that was they're like, you've been to a horse race, right? And you get the horses in the gate, and before the gate opens, they're all kicking around and moving around and trying to they're just ready to go. And that's exactly how everybody on my team is right now. They're just 100% ready to get back to work at a high level, and they're back making calls. They can't wait for open houses to start again. And so I think it was a great time just to kind of renew personally and reconnect with things that we probably don't connect with when we're working so hard. So for me, it was super positive. We still stayed in touch with our people. We took this time. We didn't do a lot of cold calling because I didn't think that was appropriate. But we did do a lot of follow-up with the people in our CRM, making sure they were okay, finding out if there was anything we could do for them, making sure they were okay health-wise. And we spent some time cleaning up our database. I've got about 18,500 people in my database. Those are all people who have registered on our site since September of 2017. But we took some time to really go through and clean up, people that we've tried to communicate with for 2 years that have never one time communicated back. And, we put some standards in place, and we really cleaned up, and I reduced the number of agents that are in each of my agents, or excuse me, the number of clients that are in each of my agents' CRM. We've limited them to 100 people is all they're allowed to have. They can't have more than 100 that they're trying to get a hold of at any certain time or that they're working with. And we actually cleaned many of those up down to like 50 and 60 people, so that when this whole thing takes off again, which we're seeing right now, we're getting, last Sunday we got 13 new leads in one day. We're averaging about 5 or 6 leads a day. And so we were just kind of cleaning stuff up, getting ready for that explosion. And I've been telling my team, and I'll tell all of you, I think for the rest of this year, at least until probably Halloween probably Halloween, you're going to see multiple offers on most properties. You're going to see buyers that are very eager to get this done. And so just been kind of coaching and helping them understand that, we're going to run into some things that you're not used to, and that's multiple offers. And you got to get better at helping clients understand how to win multiple offers. And so we worked on stuff like that. We worked on our skill. We worked on our ability to convert and our ability to talk to people about situations that will probably become the norm here in the next few months. So it was great for us. Nothing to say. I'm a big CRM guy. I think most all of you know that. Like that's my, if you're not working through a CRM, I don't know how people do that, because I have to be pretty organized. And so anyway, that's where we spent most of our time, was in our CRM, just kind of working on stuff that would clean it up and make it a little bit easier to use starting right now.
Right. Well, thank you for that. And you're correct. It gives a real cleanup. We've been cleaning out our condo. We cleaned out a whole bunch of stuff, clothes. We've been donating, giving away. And I've been going into my CRM. I have a couple of CRMs because I have a couple of different systems that are generating leads. And I got all these leads. No, I got names and phone numbers. They're not leads. One time I went to a Mike Ferry event, and he said, how many of you have 100 leads? And people put their hand, how many got 200? And and I had like 8,900. And I says, I win. He goes, you're an idiot. You can't have 8,900 leads. What you got is a bunch of names and phone numbers. I want you to go on your computer and delete half. Oh, I almost had a heart attack. He goes, because they're not buying anything, and they're definitely not buying from you. They're not communicating. So I actually went in and deleted from M all the way up to the Z's. I almost had a heart attack. But reality of it is, if you figure 10 to 15% of the population moves, depending on the area, you're only going to have so many people you can actually work with. And Wayne said he had 8 hot leads. I've got like 4 really good ones that I'm working with. And you mentioned about multiple offers. I've got a buyer. We put in 8 offers on different properties, and we have multiple offers on all of them. It's amazing that people are buying. We closed the deal last week. We got multiple offers. On one property, we had 26 offers. It's crazy. I thought people were not going to be doing anything. They're doing it. So it's good times are coming. Anyways, so that was the what wasn't working. So here's a question for you. A big question that we may be able to help you with, or we can help each other, is what's missing for you? What is missing that if we could come up with some solutions and some help, what is missing that we could add to you and help you with? So who wants to go first, Shannon?
You're killing me. Well, for me, and Todd just mentioned it, it's the CRM. I'm a newer agent. I just started using a CRM, but I still, even though it's supposed to organize me, I'm still an old school paper person. So switching over and getting it organized and figuring out how to use it effectively, I'm clueless.
Okay, what CRM do you have?
I did Lion's Desk.
Okay. I've seen it. That's a good system. There's lots of good systems out there. So what I would recommend is you connect with Todd, and he may be able to help you. I'm trying to volunteer you kind of, Todd, but I know that you love helping everybody there. So you might want to reach out to Todd, and he may be able to give you some direction. I think, Todd, you use Lion's Desk, don't you?
Yeah. No, we use a system called Sierra Interactive, but I've used Boomtown, I've used Sync, I've used several different CRMs. I think one of the best starting CRMs out there is LionDesk. I think you did good picking that. And I'm thinking that when we get back to being able to have some interaction personally, I'm probably going to hold a class on just CRMs in general. And, you know, it doesn't matter what CRM you're using, it's just how to use it. What are some things that you should be doing on a day-to-day basis and a weekly basis, and how to help organize all that paper. I mean, when you start to understand that the notes section in your CRM for Jim Smith, your client, is really the same place that you would write the notes on your notepad, and you keep them there and you have access to them on your phone 24/7, it makes more sense. People don't really gather how they can use it outside of just being at their desk on a computer. So yeah, I'll hold a class on CRMs in general here as soon as we can, but it's not something I want to do on a Zoom call. It's too big for that. I want to do it in the classroom. So as soon as we can get to that, I'm going to reserve the classroom at Southwest and do a big class.
You can do it in the parking lot. It's big enough space.
As long as we're all 6 feet apart, right?
Hey, I'm definitely in for that.
They all have a basic format that you need to follow. Doesn't matter which one you use. So terrific, Todd. That would be great to set something up. Anybody else? What's
Can I
missing?
just ask what the price of LionDesk is, Shannon?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. So there's like a free trial, and then it becomes like 25 or 29 a month. It was
not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the most cost effective, and all the reviews I read said it was a little bit more complicated than some, but pretty robust for the price. So I went for it.
Yeah, because Todd, your CM Interactive is what, $400 a month?
Yeah, $400 a month for 5 users.
Oh, for 5
It goes to $500 a month for 10 users.
What about one user?
It's the same, $399, $400.
Okay.
So, you know, it depends. Like I said, I have some lead generation systems. I have 3 different lead generation systems. One is hooked into my website and so on. And so they feed each one of them. And I kept that separate because each one of them feeds into its own CRM. So that way, you know, I can keep it separate. So I know where it comes from, because you know, after I've been at it for a year, I can make a decision whether I'm going to continue with that. How effective was it? I can analyze the numbers. I can analyze the money coming in, all of that before I spend. See, I don't mind spending, you know, we get calls all the time. I say to these people, I'll spend $10,000 a week if I can make 20. Okay. So it doesn't matter what it costs. Somebody said to me years ago, you know, your greatest expense in life is the money you could be making. It's you know, people look at it as an expense. It's not an expense if it's generating revenue. So anybody else wants to say anything about what's missing for you?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Jeff.
So to kind of go back to the what wasn't working thing, I could kind of relate to what Todd was saying there. I didn't really have anything that I could say wasn't working. I did not take time off, or I didn't remove myself from the business. However, I did complete some projects like the garage. So, you know, just some stuff that's been lingering, that's been on the to-do list. And then also what I did is I got out of working in my business and was working on my business. So I did a lot of that during that time. And then what I've learned is during that time, I do have a coach, that there was a missing element. And so then I joined coaching with Signature, and actually Todd is my coach. And he introduced me to a book, and I will say, I don't have the hard copy yet, but I couldn't wait. So I got the audio and listened to it. And what I am is a visionary. And one of the cool things about a visionary is, yeah, I can see all these great things, but also on the other side, one of the negatives of that is, yes, I have all these things lined up, but then what do I have completed? So it was, I'm going to say, long story short, the missing component was, even though I had a coach, I kind of still liked the, you know, a lot of it's Zoom and that sort of stuff, but still kind of missed like being able to go knock on Todd's door and say, hey, what's happening? And, you know, hey, I have these listings that aren't selling. Can you look at them and give me your opinion and that sort of stuff? So I'm excited, man. I really am.
What was the book, Jeff?
What was the book, Todd?
Can you hear me? Am I muted? I'm not muted.
No, we hear you.
It's called Rocket Fuel.
Yes, thank you.
It's a real easy read. It's called Rocket Fuel. It's about how to accelerate your business by determining who you are in the business. Visionaries, and I knew that's what Jeff was. Visionaries have big visions. They have big ideas. They have things that will work. But what we struggle at, and I'm a visionary as well, what we struggle at is implementation, is making that project that would really generate a bunch of leads and do well. We fall short on implementation. So I've known for a long time that I always have to have somebody in my very close circle who I can bounce ideas off of and then put them in charge of, you know, making it happen. I've recently had an assistant that happened to be my middle daughter, who is like the perfect implementer. Like her personality, the way she operates is, you give her an idea and within 10 or 15 minutes it's underway and she's going with it and she's going to make it work. And then she can take some criticism on, we need to fix this and that and this, and it works well. I don't know if you guys know Monica here at the Green Valley office, Monica Miller. She is one of the best implementers I've run into in a while. She just does a fantastic job of taking a vision, which is Brandon and Chris's vision, and just like making it happen. Like she takes all the brokers' visions and she just makes it happen, and it's awesome. So Rocket Fuel's a great book because it'll kind of help you. You've heard the term stay in your lane, right? Like anytime I try to get out of the visionary lane and implement stuff, it crashes, it dies, it doesn't do me any good. So I've learned to stay out of that.
Is it by Gino Wickman?
What?
Rocket Fuel book. Yeah.
I don't know who the author is, to be honest with you.
I just typed up.
Here is the thing that's important, okay, is that we got to do what we do the best and delegate the rest. And that's why I love the disc, is because I know what I'm really good at. I know who I am. So I got to surround myself with people around me, Todd, that can implement and can create the things that I'm not good at. Even John Maxwell, you know, I've been following him for years, and I'm also a certified trainer with him. He says, if you're a 2 in something, you're never going to be more than a 3, maybe a 4. Why don't you take something that you're a 7 or 8 at and take it to a 9 or a 10? Might as well focus on your strengths, because there are certain things I'm not good at and I don't like doing it. So why bother? Why? Oh no, I'm going to learn. I'm really going to learn Adobe. I don't want to learn Adobe. Okay, I don't care. I'll find somebody that can do it. I can go on Fiverr and somebody who's an expert in Adobe and can do it in minutes can put it together for me. Why am I trying to kill myself? I spent hours trying to figure that stupid program out and I still can't do it. Okay? It's like what's interesting is our daughter is just graduated from high school, going to college. She took a course called AP Physics. I can't even spell AP Physics, okay? I mean, there's no way I could help her. If she wanted to know, what's 20% off on something, I can tell her. I can tell you 6% of anything, okay? Because I can calculate commissions. But, you put the X, Y, and Z in front of me. I only finished grade 10 and I had to go get my GED because in Florida, you need to have a grade 12 or a GED to get a real estate license. So when I went to apply for my license, I couldn't get it. So I had to go back and I had to take a test in mathematics. And it said, if X is 7 and Y is 8, what's the value of A? And I said, who cares? Right? It doesn't matter to me. It's not real math to me. And so you got to learn what you're really good at. So here's the next question. This is a very important question is, what's next? What's next? Okay, we knew what worked, we knew what didn't work, we knew what's missing, or we got something about what's missing. So what's next for you? What are you gonna do next? Because all of this is great, but what's the next steps? Whether it's in one area or those 4 areas that we always cover, physical, spiritual, relational, and financial. What's next for you? So, go ahead, anybody that wants to kind of pipe up.
Oh, for me, I kind of already touched on what was next for me was getting a new coach. So.
Oh, you don't like the one you got? You don't like the one you got?
No, I like Todd.
Let me be clear. We've only met twice. So yeah, he probably still likes me, but time can change that.
Hey, but Alex, check this out. The first time that I ever met him, I said to Shannon, my wife, I said, you know what? I like that guy. I want to work with that guy. And then boom, here we are. So anyways.
Well, that's what happens, it's, somebody, Brandon sent me somebody that's interested in maybe getting coached. And, she was telling me all about herself and all that kind of stuff. And then I said to her, this is the way I work. Bam, 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 bam. And then I said, for me to understand who you are, you need to do by Wednesday, 5 o'clock, you need to do this, 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 and this. And then I can see if I can help you. I got an email from her. Well, I can't do those things by Wednesday. I'm interviewing other coaches. I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe I'm not the coach you're looking for because I'm going to tell you like it is. Okay. And she had 2 coaches before, and she gave me all the reasons why the coaches didn't work and didn't function and why they couldn't help her and all that. And I'm thinking to myself, it sounds like the guy that, says, on Monday I got drunk on scotch and soda, Tuesday on whiskey and soda, Wednesday on gin and soda. And he said, I know what my problem is. It's that soda. Common denominator.
One thing, and you kind of teed it up, Alex, is one thing that I was talking to Todd, it was a problem and or an issue. How about that? And he's all, well, maybe the problem is you, Jeff. It's like, okay, yep, I like this guy. He's going to call me on my stuff.
Right. You know what? I do a training called boot camp, and I have agents say to me, I said, how's it going in your area? Because I have people from different areas. And they go, well, the market sucks. I said, no, you suck. Okay, you're not doing your job. Okay, if you did your job, I made money in 36 years. I sold over 3,600 properties. And you know why? Because up market, down market, side market, didn't matter. People still have to buy and sell. All you have to do is work every single day and you'll find those people. And if you use the market, I joined real estate in 1983. Okay, interest rates were 22%. I didn't speak very good English. I speak better now. I didn't have the education. I didn't know anything about how to build a house or anything about that. And you know what? Once I figured things out, I was starting to make lots of money. And I had people around me with college educations and all this knowledge and they had like 15 different initials after their real estate name and all that kind of stuff. I didn't have any of that. I just knew that I had a big why I wanted to succeed, and that's what drove me. So it's never an excuse because there is always a market out there, right? So what's next for you? Who wants to go? Who wants to go? We got another 9 minutes. Go ahead.
I would say for me, like the biggest thing when I started coaching was to start working on me personally. Just a brief background. I joined Signature right before the pandemic happened, and before that, I wasn't in the greatest place mentally. I had a huge breakdown, and my confidence was rock bottom. Joining Signature, I kind of started to build that confidence back up. I was working with Todd a little bit on script practice and coming to meetings and really starting to feel good about myself and my business again. And then the pandemic hit. And so that kind of dropped me back down. So when I started coaching, I think one of my main focuses was getting myself mentally prepared for everything else, because I needed to work on me before I could do anything productive. And so my next step, now that I'm getting myself in a better spot, is to really start focusing on my business. I need to really start lead generating, making the phone calls. I do script practice with Todd, and I was really uncomfortable with it at first, but I'm actually starting to enjoy it now. So now it's time to move it into actually making the phone calls and starting to lead gen.
Excellent. And you know, one of the things for you, you should go to the gym where there's a lot of people.
You know what? Actually, I will go to the gym for cardio. It's just the yoga part that I prefer to do at home.
Okay, let me tell you something, okay? I tried yoga, and I'm not as flexible as I used to be, okay? I was a gymnast. I used to be able to do the splits. Now I have a hard time tying my shoes, okay?
Me too. You know what though? I love the yoga for the personal aspect of it too. I feel like it's very therapeutic. So for now, I'm going to stick to it at home, and eventually I'll venture out into classes.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else? Shannon, come on, girl.
I must be on your radar because I'm an ex-gymnast too, and you just figured it out. I can't touch my toes anymore either.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, like I said, I used to do the rings and the parallel bars, and I competed. And I mean, I could bench press 300 pounds and I weighed 145 pounds. And I told you, I was in the gym, this was about a year ago, and these guys doing the dips, and I went to do the dips and I tore my rotator cuff muscle. I had to have surgery, and I only weigh 170 pounds. And I'm thinking to myself, man, what happened? Where did that Alex go? And I have a picture, we just took it down, but I have a picture of me when I was 18 years old on the wall over here. I had it for a long time, and I know that this muscular, skinny guys inside this little chubby body, okay? I know it's in there somewhere, I just can't find it. I have to chip away at the rest of it.
Yeah, I so relate. Menopause hit hard, I gotta say. But when I was young, I competed from the time I was like 10 through high school or college, into college. It did not do good things for my dating life because I was stronger than most men. And now I trip walking up the stairs. So yep. I don't know. But what's next for me, and I, kind of to mimic what Brandy said a bit, is I'm really trying to just learn the basics. And, even though I've had a business for 25 years, I have to remind myself, this is different. This is unlike anything I've ever had to do before. And even though I can sit comfortably in a room of somebody bawling their eyes out and telling me their deepest, darkest, most hurtful information, I don't want a cold call, So for me, it's learning all this stuff that I've never had to do and putting my ego aside.
What you got to think about is that they're at your place, laying on a couch and giving you their deeper, darker secrets. So that's how it's like when I was telling you guys at the beginning, this 1 million cups. I had a lady that had to do a presentation about a new business, and she was making dog food. And she says, I can't do this thing. I can't stand in front of all these people and talk about dog food. You know, I feel self-conscious. I said, imagine everybody in the audience is a dog. She got up there and she did a fantastic job. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
Again, use what works. And you're a psychologist. Hey, it's all mental. Everything is mental. It's nothing is real. Okay, there is no such thing as anything real. It's your interpretation of what's real. So,
And then I highly encourage joining us on Tuesdays and Thursdays for script practice. We do it on Zoom. It's actually, it's a lot more comfortable than you would think. And nobody's forced to participate. You can just listen if you want. But what I found is the more I participate, the more comfortable I get. There's only a few of us that usually even do the participation. Everybody else kind of listens. But I found as we go, well, it's like Alex said, you know, you put the people that are really uncomfortable right in front of the group and make them do the practice. And after a while, you start getting more comfortable with it. And I found that even on days when there's 30 people on the call listening to me, I don't even notice those people are there. I take the feedback and I improve for the next time. So I would highly recommend joining us.
Thank you. I saw the invite for it and I had no idea what it even was. And then when you said you were getting more comfortable, I'm like, I can get more comfortable. I have faith, but thank you. I will definitely check it out.
Good. That's awesome. Awesome. Anybody else? We've got 3 minutes to go. Anybody else has any final thoughts or anything, you know, anything that you want to add and to help everybody out? And then, you know, I want to stay on track and stay on time. I'm very big stickler on time. Okay. So go ahead.
I would just say it's good that we keep these forums up. Everybody, I learn something every time, you guys, whether it's from a new person or somebody that's been in the business for a long time. There's always something to catch. So I always enjoy the Zoom meetings. Thanks.
Good. Well, guys, I really appreciate all of you being online. I appreciate all of your input and your participation. We recorded this thing, so if you want to see yourself, you know, on stage, you know, you can see yourself. Everything you said is part of this system now. You can't hide from it. Okay, so we got anything you said, you know, we got you. No, just kidding. So thank you, guys. You need anything, you can get a hold of me. I'm easy guy to find. You know, alexsinnega@gmail.com or alex@signature, you know, rei.com, or you can text me or call me 702-334-5570. Anything you need help with, I'm an easy guy to find, okay? I'm here. My whole purpose, which I discovered back in 1983 when I went through a training with Robert Kiyosaki, he said, if you discover your purpose, your life gets better, you know, because you need to look at your purpose. And so I really seriously thought about it, and I think I am definitely put on this planet to help other people create what they're looking for. So I'm big on that. So thank you, guys. Have yourself a great day. Have yourself an awesome time. And, you know, thank you. Take care.